Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you. Today, we're going to be talking about Bath and Body Works Easter Candy Basket. Now, I believe that this is being marketed as a new fragrance. This candle does retail for a little bit higher price point than the typical $26.95 that we see for a lot of Bath and Body Works candles because it does have one of those like heavier lids. I didn't bring the lid over here right now to show you in that review, but if you pop into any Bath and Body Works location, you can tell that the packaging is a little bit more substantial on this candle. I believe that the retail price on this one is $32.95. And I'm going to let you guys know in this review, is it really worth that price point? So first and foremost, this is one of their standard 3-wick. I want to say they're like 14.5-ounce vessels. Beautiful packaging. I really, really love the packaging on this candle. We've got the beautiful bunnies right there with that kind of like indigo blue and the pink. It's very, very nice. I do love the packaging on this. Every once in a while, I do get sucked in by that, particularly around Easter. I don't know why. I tend to really, really love the pretty aesthetic that a lot of companies put with a lot of their Easter packaging. But regardless, I do think the packaging on this candle is really nice. The fragrance notes that we have listed on the bottom of this candle are very, very basic and a little bit vague. Basically, the fragrance description on this is sugar-coated jelly beans and orange vanilla creme. Now, there was a little bit of speculation and talk over on other social media outlets that this fragrance, to some people, they were saying it smelled like an orange creamsicle. To my nose, I don't detect that at all. In fact, on Cold Sniff, I actually said that this fragrance reminded me an awful lot of like if you grew up in the 90s, or if you had children in the 90s or grandchildren in the 90s, they used to have these like push pops. They were like frozen pops that you found, like in the frozen section. It was like a novelty, and they had like the Flintstones on them. That is kind of what this fragrance smelled like to me on Cold Sniff. I did detect a little bit of like an orange fragrance in there. However, it didn't have like the iciness of a popsicle. And I am going to tell you that upon burn, I definitely see where they were going with this, trying to simulate or emulate the fragrance of jelly beans. Now, the thing that comes with this trying to be a jelly bean fragrance to me is that this fragrance, when it is burning, has a little bit of what I would call that kind of like waxy, slightly plasticky coating that you would find on a jelly bean. It's kind of an unusual and distinct fragrance for me to try to explain. But I think a lot of other people, or a couple of other people that I have reached out to who I know have this candle, I asked them, I said, "Are you picking up on that as well?" And they were like, "Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It smells almost plasticky." And I was like, "Yes." It's a little bit bizarre, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This fragrance is going to be a one and done for me, just because I do think that it smells like jelly beans in terms of it having that like I said, waxy coating around it, and a little bit of that like gooey center. But the orange vanilla creme in the middle isn't strong enough. I don't think the like fruity element of it or the sugariness of it is kind of getting overshadowed, I feel like, by that waxy, plasticky type of fragrance. It's a little bit different for me. I'm going to be honest with you guys. And now I will say, I am now on the fourth burn of this candle. You guys can also hear in my voice that I have had a cold recently. I can smell this just fine. I started burning this before I came down with the cold, and I've been burning it, since having had it. But the performance has actually been pretty consistent, throughout before and after. I feel like I'm having like the same opinion. Like I don't feel like I'm smelling anything different or whatnot. But I will tell you, the first two burns of this candle, what I found to be a little bit unusual was that this candle took about an hour to start throwing, which is really unusual for me with Bath and Body Works candles. Usually, well, I would say in the past, a lot of their candles would start to throw immediately. But I kind of had like a homeworks experience with this candle where I felt like the first two burns, I just was not getting a whole lot out of it, particularly that first hour. So we're segueing now into the performance of the candle. So what I will tell you before I give you my complete strength and throw analysis, this candle you can see is actually still burning pretty well for me. I've got good healthy flames on it, which has been a rarity for me recently with Bath and Body Works. If you've kept up with any of my recent critiques of the brand, I feel like I have had to crock, I think in the last, ooh, goodness, I feel like all of the candles I bought on Candle Day, maybe even going back to some of the fall releases. I want to say going back to the fall, I have had maybe 3 or 4 candles that have not ended up in my candle crock. The rest have, because they've developed those like puny wicks midpoint. Now, I am almost at the midpoint of this candle's burning, but so far these wicks are not giving me the impression that they're going to dud out. These have been pretty hot burning wicks, so hot in fact that I have been limiting the burn time on this candle in particular, to about 2.5, maximum 3 hours, because I don't want the wax to get sooty. I did notice this morning after when I took the candle, moved it so that way I could use my wick dipper to extinguish it, that I did notice that there was some soot coming off of the wicks. Now, that being said, it's not developing huge carbon residue or anything like that at the ends, but these are like those thick, ropey wicks that are, they could get a little bit sooty if you burn this candle any longer than 3 hours. So it's kind of a little bit of a bummer because, like I said earlier, this candle takes about an hour to start throwing for me. And then once it does, you guys, this is kind of an oddity because I'm going to give the strength of this candle, it's about anywhere between like a 5 and a 6. It's not, the fragrance itself is not overly strong. It's not going to smack you in the face. However, I can detect it. And the weird thing is that the throw, once it starts throwing, it decides that it wants to throw, it's actually been pretty decent in my open concept. I would give it probably about a 7.5 in terms of the throw. And right now the weather is nice and I have my windows open, and I'm able to smell it all throughout the open concept living room, going into the kitchen. But again, that is after I've had it lit for about an hour. That first hour, I really don't get anything from it at all. So this one's been a bit of a strange performer for me, something that I'm not really accustomed to with a lot of Bath and Body Works candles. And I think that for me has probably been the greatest criticism that I have for the brand over the last year, has just been the inconsistency, whether that is the wicks, whether it is the strength and throw, whether it's been the cleanliness. Some of their wax gets really, really dirty on the second half. I don't know, you guys. So for me personally, I did purchase this candle during a buy one, get one free that they had over President's Day weekend. Now, if I was really looking for the best deal, I would have bought 2 of these because they are at the higher price point, but I didn't. I bought this with a sweet carrot cake because I love that fragrance. Um, for me, you guys, this is going to be a one and done. I would recommend only purchasing this candle if you can get it for at least 50% off. Maybe even if they start including it in maybe like a $12.95 or $13.95 sale, and maybe you still have like a 20% coupon, then I could see you go ahead and purchasing it. But yeah, don't expect this fragrance to be a powerhouse. Like I said, overall synopsis here, this smells very much more heavy on the waxy, plasticky um, type of jelly bean fragrance that I would get, more so than like the sugary, fruity, like jelliness on the inside. That's what my nose is detecting. I do detect a slight amount of that orange vanilla creme, but it's very, very light. And like I said, the strength of the candle in and of itself, it's not going to smack you in the face. It's very like low medium, I would say, but the throw is surprisingly good when it decides to throw. So that is my assessment. Let me know in the comment box down below if you have purchased this candle, what your thoughts are. You might be having a completely different experience than I am. If you're new to my channel and you've never caught any of my dedicated reviews, I do always list in the description box down below the layout of my home, environmental factors, the size of my home, all of those things that you might want to know, so that way you can compare your living space to mine and maybe therefore get an idea of where I'm coming from when I say how strong a candle is performing for me. I do also try to list down there the batch number of the specific candle that I am reviewing, so I will make sure that I have that down below. But thank you guys for watching today. Please hit thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Consider subscribing if you are new. I do, again, want to thank you for spending your time here with me. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.